and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis and I post 4 videos a week on a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday at 7 AM. So if you love a variety channel like this one and you want to see more videos, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And now I'm going to share with you how I've reorganised my pantry with a label maker. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how I've reorganised my pantry with a label maker. I have finally been out and invested in a label maker, and I have labelled all my jars in my pantry. I'm really proud of myself. It took a little while, but now you can clearly see what everything is and I'm really pleased. And I thought today that I'd share with you how I've done it. So here is how I've reorganised my pantry with a label maker. To start the process, I remove all of the items from the island in the middle of the kitchen. I find that the island is a really good place to store items, but I also find that it's a really good place to put items when you need to clean out a cupboard. So that's what I did. I just removed everything from the island, and then I went and checked inside the cupboard, and I noticed that it was very messy and it did really need a good clean, as you can see here. The bottom half of the cupboard I cleaned later in this video, but I just start with the top half. So basically I just took all of the jars out of the cupboard, and then once I'd removed all of the jars, I'll then start cleaning the shelf. Shelves, I'm going to fill a washing up bowl with warm water, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of washing up liquid as well. And then basically what I did was I started at the top and I worked my way down. My son Ted also wanted to help as well, so I told him if he went and got a cloth he could help. So yeah, I started at the top and just wiped down each shelf individually, and I managed to get quite a lot of dirt off of these shelves. It has been a while since I've cleaned this pantry, so it did need a really good scrub. Once I'd cleaned the top half of the pantry shelves, I then moved on to cleaning the glass jars. So when I first got the pantry, I went to IKEA and I bought myself loads of glass jars, and I also bought myself just some sticky white labels and a pen, I think, and I just basically wrote on what was in each jar and then stuck the label on. But over time these labels have been just wearing away. I do wash my jars in the dishwasher once everything's been used inside the jar, obviously, and I do find that the labels don't tend to come off, so I wanted to try and get as much of the label off as I possibly could. Some of the jars still do have the labels on. They didn't tend to come off too easily. I did have to use hot water in the end, and I did have to scrub really hard. My son was helping me, but he said his arm ached after a while, so he's gone now to play his video games. But yes, I'm just going to continue to try and get these labels off. I did get quite a few off, but there are still some with bits of label on, but once they go through the dishwasher I think that'll be fine. So yes, I'm just going to continue to try and get these labels off now. I'd finished trying to get the labels from the jars, I then decided to dry them and put them back onto the island in the middle of the kitchen. And now onto the fun part, making the labels. So I brought myself this label maker last year with the intention to clean the pantry last year as well, and it never happened. So I thought I'd start cleaning the pantry in the new year and I'd use this label maker, and I have to say it's made my life so much easier. I used to write out the labels for the jars, and after a while my hand would really hurt and my handwriting would get worse. So I thought to myself, I'd buy myself a label maker. I've seen other YouTubers use things like this, and it always makes their pantries or their cupboards look really neat and tidy. And I have to say, I'm really pleased with the finished results. The label maker was also really easy to use. I think it's called a Dymo label maker, and it wasn't very expensive. I think it was about £20. I'm not sure how much the refills are going to cost, however, so I will wait and see for that. But I have to say, this has made my life so easy, and everything is in my pantry is now labelled and looks really neat and tidy as well. So yes, I'm very pleased. And as you can see here, I'm just printing a label for every single jar in my cupboard so I know what it is and I can find it easily too. Once most of the jars had been labelled, I then started to put them back into the pantry, and anything that needed refilling I refilled as I went. Any jars that I'd missed and hadn't put labels on, I also labelled them as I went as well. At this point I'd labelled quite a few jars and I just wanted to start putting them back into the cupboard before I moved on to refilling the jars. once I finish cleaning the top half of the shelf, I then move on to cleaning the bottom half of the shelf. And as you can see here, I'm taking this bottom half shelf by shelf. So I just got my method spray and I cleaned the shelf once I'd taken all of the items off. And then I'm just going to clean the shelf and dry it, and then I clean the baskets here as well, and then I put all of the items back in the baskets, and then I put those baskets back on the shelf. And the bottom two shelves is where we generally tend to store anything we can't fit into the glass jars, and perishables as well. So perishables in tins like coconut milk and tin tomatoes we store down here, and jars as well. We generally tend to store our ketchup and vinegars down here as well. Any spares that we may have go down here as well. So I decided to take this shelf by shelf as it made it a lot easier to clean these shelves. So I finally finished reorganising the pantry and making labels for the jars as well. It did take me a few days because the brown rice jar I had to put in the dishwasher and wait for that to come out, so before I could put a label on it and put the brown rice in it. I do like to wash my jars when I've sort of finished with things, so if I run out of Brazil nuts then I always like to give the jar a wash before I refill it again. So yes, everything has a place now and everything is in its place. So I've tried to keep everything together, but there are some things I've had to sort of put on different shelves. So all the rices and the quinoa are all together, and the pasta. The chia seeds I would put down here with the pumpkin seeds, but there isn't a lot of space, as you can see, so I've left those up there. There's lentils up there that could go down here as well, but I'm just going to leave that. I know where it is and I know that it's labelled now as well, so I hopefully won't lose as much stock. So yes, I've tried to keep all the nuts and the seeds together. I do have raisins here, which I may put in the fridge at a later point, because there's some other foods I'd like to try, and I'm thinking of just reorganising this bit in maybe a few weeks time, but I'm going to leave it like that for now. And then I've got my spices here, and I've also labelled the boxes spices as well, and then I've put herbs there, and I've got odds there and odds here, and then down here is like sugar and salt. So I've got my maple syrup, which is clearly marked, and then I've got coconut sugar, brown sugar, molasses, nutritional yeast I put down here as well. I wasn't too sure. It used to sit in this box here, but I thought it looked a lot better over here, to be honest. And there's more room for it over here as well. And then I've got my salts. And I took my collagen out of that box as well, because it is rather large, and with the nut butter it didn't really fit in. And then the bottom part of the cupboard, as you can see, is never going to be really that tidy. I was thinking of maybe getting some boxes for down here, but I think for the moment it's okay. I have to really think about this, because we tend to lose food in this part of the cupboard because you can't see it all. So yes, I do have to sometimes sit down here and go right to the back of the cupboard to see what we've got. But yes, this is probably never going to be that tidy, but for now it's okay. So yeah, I know where everything is. So that is my pantry reorganised and labelled. That's how I have reorganised my pantry with my label maker, and I'm really pleased. Everything is in its place now and everything has a place as well in the pantry. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave any comments below. And please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you all soon. Bye.